This week's news from the tubes and F5 Live is probably powered by Malwarebytes. Whether you use a PC, a Mac, or a mobile device, Malwarebytes Premium is the company's strongest protection ever. It fights threats that traditional antivirus software can't stop. Plus, it blocks standard things like worms, rogues, dialers, trojans, and a whole lot more. It allows you to use your computer and mobile devices with confidence and peace of mind. To learn more and get a special price, you can go to f5live.tv/malwarebytes. Hello, Internet. Sorry for the interruption. I just want to let you know we're doing an audience survey to get to know you better, what you like, what you don't, what we might need to change. It's completely free. It takes about 60 seconds. If you go to plughitslive.com/audience and fill out the survey, you'll be entered for one of 2 CES prize packs with bags and shirts and a whole lot more. Again, it takes 60 seconds, plughitslive.com/audience. And now, back to the show. This one was an interesting thing that happened this week that I thought needed to be brought up as people in the space. There's a company, Ubiquiti Networks. They make, obviously, network equipment. They had a data breach that they let their customers know about. The information that they gave was vague in what they said had happened. After the announcement came out, a whistleblower went to a particular reporter whose name has escaped me. Krebs is his last name. Brian Krebs.
Brian Krebs of Krebs on Security.
Right. The last name was clear to me. I couldn't come up with his first, though. So a whistleblower came forward and gave more information on what had actually happened. He reported on it. The company got mad after it was proven that the whistleblower's information was correct. The Ubiquiti Networks was not happy and has filed suit for defamation, even though it is known that what he reported on was at least mostly accurate based on the whistleblower. And the article was very clear that it was speculative based on whistleblower information, which you can only verify to a certain point. In reality, what had happened was it seems like an employee had stolen data, left with it, and then extorted the company to get that data back. And that is exactly what he printed. So he's being sued for defamation for being correct, which I find fascinating. It reminds me very much, Avram, of the topic that we talked about, 6 months ago, where Nikola, the autonomous 18-wheeler semi-truck company, was caught demoing to investors and the public a fake video of their vehicle not driving by itself, but casually rolling down a hill with the camera at an angle. And anybody who reported on them lying got DMCA takedown notices as a threat to their channel and to other people so that they wouldn't say negative things about the company. This feels like that same kind of, at a higher level, obviously, this same kind of threat.
Yeah, so I'm looking at some of the other articles about this as well, and I think one of Ubiquiti's claims is that his anonymous source for the article was also the person who he described as an employee, was also someone who was arrested and charged with a felony for
this.
For this?
Was it for this? There was
sure.
some.
It's not clear.
Exactly. There was some gray area on what that was.
Right. So,
but
but
if the whistleblower, if the person who does it comes forward and doesn't say I'm the one who did it, so right, even in that case, or if it's somebody who has had an axe to grind with the company in the past, doesn't mean that their information is incorrect. Look at Edward Snowden, right?
Yeah, exactly. 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 So that doesn't mean that he was, I mean, he wasn't revealing any of his source because we're not supposed to do that if you have an
Right.
anonymous source. So,
Right.
like,
That's what anonymous
Krebs
means.
is Krebs is a very reputable journalist. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people who think very highly of. I think he used to write for Washington Post, and now he runs his own site and his own Twitter, Krebs on Security. Very, very well respected in the industry. Uh, yeah, this. I mean, I hope that he hits them with an anti-slap
Yeah.
lawsuit. It doesn't say what venue they're suing him in.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
couldn't
think,
find that information.
but this, this is what you would. This sounds like what you would call a slap suit, which is a strategic lawsuit against public participation, trying to
Hmm.
stop somebody, in this case, a journalist, uh, from revealing stuff that's embarrassing to the company. Many states have anti-slap laws, which means that you can like countersue, and uh, and I hope he does that. So, I mean, we obviously, the public has a great interest in this type of reporting occurring.
Hmm.
So, if you're a journalist, you do not want to be sued, because even if you win your lawsuit, this is a huge problem for you. I mean, the
It's a huge
fact,
financial drain. It's a distraction, especially for somebody who's, you know, trying to run a thing.
right,
It's a
right.
huge
I
distraction.
mean, good for him that he's kind of an independent, running his own independent business there, because I bet there's a lot of companies, a lot of places that would say like, "Oh, retract the story. We can't deal. We don't want to spend the
Right.
money defending it in a lawsuit." There's probably a lot of there's probably a lot of publishers that would not stand behind
Absolutely.
someone like this. I mean, New York Times and Washington Post probably would, but a lot of other places probably would not. So it's good. I mean, but that's rough, right? I mean, the amount of money that you have to spend defending, hiring lawyers, you've already lost. I mean,
Hmm.
lawyers are extremely expensive for this kind of thing.
Yeah, they are.
You in a sense you already lost. How much are they suing him for? I think I see one thing here that says they're suing him for $425,000.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh, like very easily, he could spend
Way more
that
than that.
amount of money defending for the $425,000. So
Yep.
it might actually be in his financial interest to settle with them,
Hmm.
which is horrible because that would be like an admission of guilt, which is
Right.
obviously not what he wants and is completely
And
unfair
and
because yeah,
encouraging to companies like this and Nikola to do it again.
right, right. So that's why there are anti-slap suits where you can sue, um, to recover your court costs and maybe punitive damages as well. So I hope, I sincerely hope that he avails himself of um, of that, because you know they got busted,
Yeah.
right? Like they got busted. So their response is to try and shoot the messenger. But you know what? Maybe their response should be to have better security.
Right. Right. They're a, they're a network equipment company. Security should be number one. Like that's what they are. Right? The fact that their own security was so questionable does not make their products look more attractive. Which
Right. I
obviously is
mean,
part of why they're trying to punish the person who revealed reality.
they're
But
already they're $425,000 is nothing to
right.
them, right? Like as that's not going to make them make up for what they lost in value and in their
Right.
reputation by any stretch. They're doing it to try
Send a
and
message.
stifle reporting.
Yeah, they're sending a message. And this isn't the first time they've done it either, which I find really interesting. It's not even the first time they've done it to him. A similar suit apparently happened in 2017, I believe, over a different story. Same company, same guy. It was fought then, obviously, and being fought again. So this, for me, this is an important story for a lot of reasons, because you can't be afraid to report on reality or on reports. How often do we talk about reports? The Spartacus story that we just talked about, when we talked about it in the first place, was a report based on insider knowledge of somebody who wasn't supposed to be talking. Where
Right.
at what point is there a line on what would and would not be acceptable to a company? Now you've got to make decisions based on whether or not the company's going to come after you on whether you should report on something that is interesting and a good story. Nope, not good. Especially not for smaller publications like us, right? That we couldn't defend. We couldn't defend a suit like that unless somebody bigger came in and helped us out, like Peter Thiel, who helped out Hulk Hogan with his suit. We'd need somebody to come up behind us.
Yeah, no question about it. So, yeah.
Strange story, but with a lot of potential impact, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
So, obviously, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this one as this story progresses, and we will definitely keep our audience up to date. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.